Today on Inquirer, President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. says a rise at 20 pesos per kilo will soon become a reality.
Konti na lang, may bababa natin yan.
President Marcos named as adopted son of Camarines Sur, the bailiwick of his closest 2022 elections rival Leni Robredo. House Speaker Martin Romualdez tells the lawyer of Negros Oriental Representative Nolfo Teves Jr. to ask his client to return home. And Grizzlies Ja Morant suspended for 8 games after a live stream where he could be seen holding a gun. Good evening. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. says his campaign promise of bringing down rice prices at 20 pesos per kilo will soon become a reality. Jean Mangaluz fills us in with the details live. Jean, what specific actions is the Marcos administration doing to achieve this?
Well, Neil, President Marcos said that the administration has been working to form the value chain of food production, which includes rice. Once the system improves, Marcos believes that this can help lower the cost of agricultural products. Marcos, who also stands in as the country's agriculture chief, said that the DA must become a high-tech operation to increase production. This comes in light after Marcos repeated one of his campaign promises of bringing the cost of rice down to 20 pesos per kilo, saying that this will soon become a reality. However, he did not mention a specific time frame. He issued the remark during the launching of the Kadiwa ng Pangulo in Camarines Sur province, where the rice was being sold at 25 pesos per kilogram. The president added that the government is also working to lower the price of onions, which have spiked in recent months. The Kadiwa project started as the Kadiwa ng Pasko during the Christmas season, but was expanded to Kadiwa ng Pangulo to further provide consumers with fresh and affordable agricultural and fishery products. The Kadiwa program allows the public to buy foods at cheaper rates by creating a direct and efficient farm-to-consumer food supply chain, eliminating intermediaries. Marcos said that there are already over 500 Kadiwa stores across the country and vowed that the government will put up more outlets. That's it from me, Neil. Back to you.
That's Jean Mangaluz reporting live. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. is now an adopted son of Camarines Sur province, the bailiwick of his closest rival in the 2022 presidential elections, former Vice President Leni Robredo. According to Camarines Sur Governor Luigi Villafuerte, the province's Sangguniang Panlalawigan passed a resolution declaring President Marcos as an adopted son of the province.
For all that you have done for the province of Camarines Sur, as a way of expressing our everlasting gratitude for all that you have done, Mr. President, please allow me to present to you the resolution by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Camarines Sur declaring you, Mr. President, as the adopted son of Camarines Sur.
And Marcos visited Camarines Sur for the launching of a Kadiwa ng Pangulo outlet in the province and the groundbreaking ceremony of a housing project. President Marcos also led the distribution of 826.1 million pesos worth of interventions to Bicol farmers. Based on data from the 2022 elections, President Marcos only received over 93,000 votes in Camarines Sur, behind Robredo's 870,965 votes. House of Representatives Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez tells the lawyer of Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Nolfo Teves Jr. to ask his client to return home, noting that it would not be good for a lawmaker to flee the country. In a statement on Thursday, Romualdez confirms that Teves' lawyer Ferdinand Topacio sought for a private meeting with him on Wednesday night to relay concerns of the lawmaker. Romualdez says he reiterated his request for Teves to come home to the country as his travel authority had expired last March 9. The speaker says it did not sit well with him that a House member would, quote, flee the country instead of availing legal remedies. Teves is tagged in the killing of Negros Oriental Governor Romualdez. He has denied his involvement, saying he and his brother, former Governor Pride Henry Teves, would not gain anything from Degamo's death. Teves secured a travel authority from February 28 to March 9 to go to the United States for a medical treatment. Teves has not returned to the country despite the travel authority's expiration, fearing for his and his family's security. The Commission on Human Rights doubles down its support for the enactment of the Human Rights Defenders Bill following opposition from certain organizations to the proposal. The CHR says it supports the enactment of the Human Rights Defenders Act in view of the increasing reports of serious risks and dangers faced by human rights defenders. According to the CHR, human rights defenders have faced violence, red tagging, and even death for upholding the rights of the marginalized. The Human Rights Commission says that instead of spreading fear, it would be more productive for stakeholders to have an open and genuine dialogue with the advocates of the said measure, as well as human rights defenders, to eliminate any doubt and address misunderstanding on what the proposed legislation seeks to achieve and the realities that it seeks to address. The Commission did not name a specific group or person in its statement, but to recall, the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict, or NTF-LCAC, had recently slammed the said bill, fearing that it may render the Anti-Terrorism Act and other bills, quote, toothless. The principal author of the Human Rights Defenders Bill, or House Bill number 77, is a veteran lawmaker Albay's 2nd District Representative Ed Salagman. It seeks to protect human rights defenders from the harassment they may face while working. Next on Inquirer today, magnitude 4.7 earthquake strikes Zambales. Quake also felt in Metro Manila. Supreme Court rules that interment services covered by senior citizen discount. And Grizzlies Ja Morant suspended for 8 games after live streaming a video where he could be seen holding a gun. This is Inquirer Today. We'll be back shortly.
Samgyup. Salamay. This unusual grill shocked netizens because it's made of a coffin.
Ako pala po si Vincent Levy Dolitin, mamayari ng funeral dito sa town namin, Pigkawayan, Cotabato.
Vincent has been surrounded by coffins for 18 years since he owns a funeral home business. It wasn't until the pandemic when he thought of a unique idea.
Kasi nag-umpisa ito nung nung pandemic, yung kasagsagan na coffin dance. Doon ko naisip na pwede pala na gumawa ako ng coffin grill para maiba naman. Itong coffin grill, bigay sa akin ng friend supplier ko from Santo Tomas, Pampanga. Hindi ito used, sir. Balik kinuha ko yung lining sa loob. Tapos doon na namin tinano kung paano gawing coffin grill. Pagdating dito, tinanggal namin yung mga lining sa loob, yung mga tela ng mga lining, tsaka nilagyan namin ng angle bars, winelding namin doon sa loob, tapos nilagyan namin yung mismong grill, yung ihawan, tsaka dito sa kabila naman, yung kabilang side, nilagyan ko ng cooler para sa mga inumin, para picnic, isahan na lang po. Yung mga friends ko pumupunta dito sa bahay, nagpa-picture, kumakain, kung anong gusto nilang ihawin.
Vincent's grill might be unusual, but he says many are asking if he's actually selling it.
Marami pong nagtatanong, sir, kung for sale ba from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. Sabi ko, personal use lang po ito. Hindi pwede na negosyo ako ng iwan kasi nasa funeral po ako.
Aside from this grill, Vincent plans to make more projects, also making use of coffins.
Hopefully, susunod na plano, ma'am, magawa din ako ng soundbox na kabaong at saka aquarium.
A magnitude 4.7 earthquake was recorded in Zambales and felt in Metro Manila on Thursday, while another magnitude 5.3 quake also rocked Davao Occidental and nearby areas. According to the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or Phivolcs, a magnitude 4.7 earthquake struck Zambales at around 12:21 p.m. The quake was also felt in Metro Manila and other parts of Luzon. The epicenter of the quake was located 14 kilometers northeast of Masinloc Town in Zambales and had a depth of 22 kilometers. Felt intensities were reported in Quezon City at intensity 3 and Baguio City at intensity 2. Felt intensity is the ground shaking actually felt and reported by the people through the Phivolcs earthquake intensity scale. Meanwhile, Phivolcs also reported that a magnitude 5.3 earthquake was recorded in Davao Occidental at 5:25 a.m. Its epicenter was traced 181 kilometers southeast of Sarangani and had a shallow depth of 6 kilometers. The Presidential Communications Office reports that the national government and the private sector have provided more than 43 million pesos worth of assistance to 74 areas in Mimaropa and Western Visayas affected by the oil spill in Oriental Mindoro. According to the PCO, Defense Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. reported this to President Bongbong Marcos. As quoted by the PCO, Galvez says the Office of the Civil Defense, the Department of Social Welfare and Development, the Department of Health, local government units, and non-government organizations have provided a total of 43.35 million pesos worth of assistance to the oil spill hit areas. The PCO says that experts and Coast Guard units from other countries have also offered and extended assistance in containing the oil spill. The Defense Secretary also reports that over 31,000 families or over 143,000 individuals were affected in 122 barangays. Meanwhile, the livelihood of over 13,000 fishermen was also affected. A state of calamity has been declared in 10 towns. President Marcos earlier instructed concerned government agencies to intensify the oil spill cleanup operations. Marcos also assured affected communities that the government would extend assistance, particularly the Cash for Work program. Oil tanker MT Princess Empress sank last month in the waters of Oriental Mindoro, resulting in thick industrial fuel oil spillage. Supreme Court rules that the senior citizens' 20% discount on funeral and burial services covers interment services. In a decision penned by Associate Justice Rodel V. Zalameda, the court granted the petition for review on certiorari filed by the Republic of the Philippines. The decision sets aside this January 18, 2018 and October 22, 2018 resolutions of Cagayan de Oro City Regional Trial Court Branch 17, which excluded interment services from the senior citizen discount provided by Republic Act No. 7432 or the Senior Citizens Act and its amending laws. The resolutions favored a domestic corporation engaged in the business of selling memorial lots and offering interment services, which contested that the senior citizens discount mandated by RA 7432 does not cover interment services. However, the court says that in amending the Senior Citizens Act, both RA 9257 and RA 9994 do not provide an exact definition of the term funeral and burial services. The court also notes that the said laws likewise do not limit the scope of services falling under funeral and burial services. The Supreme Court follows that burial services include interment services, such as digging the land for the deceased person's grave, its concreting, and other services being done during the actual burial. Memphis Grizzlies guard Ja Morant has been suspended for 8 games without pay following a live stream where the basketball star can be seen holding a firearm in an intoxicated state while visiting a Denver area nightclub. In a statement, the National Basketball Association said a meeting was held between Morant and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to discuss the incident. Silver said Morant's conduct was, quote, irresponsible, reckless, and potentially very dangerous. He adds that Morant's actions also have serious consequences given his enormous following and influence, particularly among young fans who look up to him. According to the NBA, a league investigation of the incident did not conclude that the gun belonged to Morant, was brought by him into the nightclub, or was displayed by him beyond a brief period. The investigation also did not find that Morant possessed the gun while traveling with the team or in any NBA facility. Colorado authorities did not find sufficient cause to charge Morant with a crime. Alamin naman natin ang mainit na balita sa mundo ng showbiz kasama si Irvin Santiago ng Bandera. Irvin?
Hi Neil at sa lahat ng mga kabandera natin all over the universe. Ito na nga ang latest Bandera Chika. Umaasa at talagang ipinagdarasal ng Kapuso TV host actor na si Ruru Madrid na sana nga'y si Bianca Umali na ang makasama niya forever sa kanyang buhay. Sa katunayan, napag-uusapan naman daw nila ng aktres ang tungkol sa kanilang future together, lalo pat seryoso na nga sila ng kanyang girlfriend sa kanilang relasyon. Pero sabi ng hunk actor, wala pa naman silang planong magpakasal ni Bianca anytime soon dahil ang priority pa rin nila ay ang kanilang showbiz career. Say ni Ruru, hindi naman daw minamadali ang pagpapakasal. Darating at darating daw ang tamang panahon para rito at ipapaalam naman daw nila sa kanilang mga taga-suporta kapag nagdesisyon na silang lumagay sa tahimik ni Bianca. Alam din daw ng Kapuso actor na marami pang gustong gawin sa buhay si Bianca kaya susuportahan muna niya ito at sabay nilang tutuparin ang kanilang mga pangarap.
Hindi siya pwedeng madaliin. Lalo-lalo na ngayon, parehas po kami busy. Ito pa lang po yung start, masabi ko na pinaka-start pa lang ng karera namin parehas. Dito pa lang namin na-discover kung gaano namin kamahal yung ginagawa namin. So, ayaw namin masayang yun. So, gusto po namin i-maximize hanggat kaya po namin dalawa. We just need to support each other sa kung ano mga bagay na ginagawa namin, magkasama man kami o hindi. For me, parang pagka nagmahal ka ng isang tao, isipin mo talaga na panghabang buhay na. Lalo na ngayon na nandun ako sa state ng buhay ko. I'm 25. Kita ko na kung ano ba yung kahalagahan ng mga bagay na meron ako ngayon. Yung trabaho ko, yung career ko.
At yan ang Bandera Chika natin today. Thanks Neil!
Maraming salamat, Irvin. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Catch Inquirer Today live weekdays at 6 p.m. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.